Shara Bullet has finally lost his O. It's gone. To be fair to him, MVP, being that Shara is a striker, MVP is a good name to lose your O to. And if he's only going to have one loss on his record, he's going to go on a win streak and maybe go for another title run, or he will. But if he is to manage to not lose his next fight or the fight after that, for him to have his first loss and maybe one of his only losses be to MVP is good for his stock, you know, because that just means like arguably one of the best counter strikers ever is the only guy that you couldn't get. And if you can continue to beat other guys, including strikers, like, I know, your Armin Petrosian and stuff like that, even though that's not that great of a striker, you understand what I mean. If he goes on to beat other good 185 strikers, then this loss will not age badly. And MVP's old now, so MVP, if he goes on to lose fights now at welterweight and stuff, it's not going to be like, wow, Shara lost to washed MVP. Like, we kind of know already that MVP's old and he fights in his particular way, but it doesn't really affect him. Like, his age doesn't really affect him so far. I feel like we might only get one or two more good fights from MVP, being that he's almost 38 now. But I just don't think this loss is going to age that badly for Shara Bullet. In terms of the fight, it was boring, I will say that, but I didn't not enjoy it. Okay, I spent most of this fight purely just angry. Okay, I was enjoying the spectacle, but I was almost the entire fight, I was just complaining about Shara's lack of, I don't know if you call it IQ, I don't know if you call it will or what, but there is a clear path to victory for Shara, and he refused to take it. And that path was to risk getting knocked out. That was the only way for him to win. He needed to use his kicks, as he always does, but he needed to use them a lot more. I wanted to see way more attempted head kicks. I wanted to see way more spin kicks. I wanted to see like wheel kicks. MVP has great head movement and stuff like that, but he's not a heavy kicker. He's very punch orientated. And if Shara was to use his kicks a lot more instead of being standing right in front of MVP so often, I think he would have been hit a lot less. And I think if he was engaging much more often with kicks, he wouldn't have been in so many boxing exchanges with MVP. Secondly, that's only a small thing to mention. Secondly, the main thing that annoyed me was that he just refused to enter the pocket. And I understand it's Michael Venom Page, okay? But when you have MVP behind the black line right up against the cage, okay? And the commentary even mentioned this during the fight, as I was like pointing it out during the live stream. You have MVP at a point where he can't back up anymore. He can lunge forward at you, and whatever ground he creates behind him in that lunge forward, he can reverse back into. But if you close the distance with him, you're forcing him to move sideways instead of moving forward and backwards, which is what he does. So if he's stuck up against the cage and he can only move sideways, you can do one of two things. Throw something wild where he doesn't have the chance to back up and then counter you on it. There's a much smaller risk of you getting countered if MVP is in a position where he has to focus on minimizing damage of a shot that he's going to be hit with versus trying to not get hit so that he can set up a counter, which is what he's really good at. When you have that opportunity and you're not taking it, it's stupid. And then the other thing that he could have done in that situation is to throw a shot when MVP circles out, because MVP, being up against the cage, like I said, can't move backwards, was forcing him to move left or right to get out of being so close to Shara. And every time he did that, Shara wouldn't throw a fucking thing. Whip up a head kick, bro. He has to circle around. You can throw a head kick into the direction he's moving. Even fucking lunge in with a check hook or something. Because like I said, he can't move backwards to counter you. I know that you've got short arms. Shara has very short arms. So the punching is not something that I was really expecting him to be taking risks on. But the kicks, I was. And even when he's up against the cage in like that, you can throw your low kicks more often. You were throwing a lot of low kicks when you were out in the open with him. Please, for the love of God, throw those low kicks when you're close to MVP, because that's when he can't back up and counter you, okay? Now, if he's going to bite down like just stand his base, you know, and my throat. Sorry, if he's gonna stand his base and then accept the leg kick to counter you, that's fine. But guess what? When you throw kick, Shara, you lean back. So if he's gonna counter you and you're leaning back throwing your kick, guess what? Those tiny arms are gonna reach him because he's getting right up close to you to be able to reach you with a counter. It doesn't matter how long his arms are. You can throw that kick, and when he comes for a counter, he either A, doesn't hit you because you lean back and use that to your advantage, or he might hit you and you exchange a shot where you're ready to be hit and you check hook him, or you hit him with a shot down the pipe as you're backing up. And even if it's something that throws you to the ground, do it, dude. It's MVP. He's not going to follow you to the mat and grapple you. You're a bigger fighter than him. You fight in a much higher weight class. You've got the grappling advantage and the weight advantage. Just seemed low IQ to me. And Shara's corner was telling him the whole time, you're letting him dance in front of you. You're just letting him control this. You're playing his game. You need to get more aggressive. And I don't know if they specifically said it, but this is the way I felt about it. At that point, get knocked out. You're going to lose. It's the third round. You've lost the first 2 rounds. Just get knocked out if you're going to get knocked out. You can't win a decision anymore. Throw all caution to the wind. And frankly, you will get more respect for being KO'd, chasing a finish at the end of the fight, versus just staying in that fucking distance point fighting battle with the guy who's the best in the world at it. Just seemed low IQ to me. That's all I have to say about it. Good job to MVP. Honestly, the fact that he could do that upper weight class is quite impressive against a guy like Shara, who is a similar style to him, like point fighter, good, I guess karate, taekwondo kind of guy is what you would say, kickboxer. So yeah, he said he's going to go back to 170, so that's good. He never planned on staying at 185, even though he literally just beat a ranked opponent in that division. But he is still ranked at welterweight, so I believe he'll go back there. And he's now not on a loss streak, or not a loss streak, not coming off of a loss as he was after the Ian Gary fight. So he can probably get a decent matchup. They might even they'll probably make him fight up the rankings. I doubt they'll give him an unranked guy at welterweight. Now that he's beat a ranked middleweight, they'll probably give him a number 10 or something like that in the welterweight division, somewhere around there. I don't know who's down there. Maybe like a Prates, you know. Maybe now they do Prates versus MVP. I don't know, because Prates probably wants a high level fight, and he's in position to get a high level fight now. But we'll see. Thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you guys all in the next mixed martial arts video. Goodbye.